Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post another quick video here. Back to do a What's Been Spinning video. This is kind of a little video series or whatever you want to call it, where I just kind of share with you the albums that I've been spinning since the last What's Been Spinning video. As I always note at the beginning of these are all of the albums that I actually listen to from front to back, not just kind of a song here or there. Because I do listen to music a lot that way, just by kind of going with the hits or things I want to hear specifically. But these are the albums I actually sat down and listened to from front to back. And I thought something else would be kind of fun to do while I'm kind of going through this the purge process that I'm doing. I've made a couple videos about that. Is I thought maybe the albums that I actually sat down and listened to from front to back that I was thinking about purging but came back into my collection because I really like them. I'll put those at the very beginning of my What's Been Spinning videos just to kind of share, which ones that happened with. Just kind of one more fun thing to do going through this process. So let's start off here with three CDs first, and I'll jump into the vinyl. We'll start off here with the one and only Bonnie Raitt there. And this is Dig In Deep, one of her later albums, maybe not quite as popular, but definitely some good stuff on here. But yeah, it's just Bonnie doing Bonnie. I mean, I just got in the urge to spin some of her stuff the other day. Another great one here, Sammy Hagar, 1013. Arguably his best album, quite frankly. I mean, just great stuff on here that just shows the genius of Sammy, the hard rocking with also that kind of I don't know, passionate vocal delivery that he does, which is just amazing. Has a song Deeper Kind of Love, which I think is easily one of my top three Sammy songs as well. Just a fantastic album that they so need to get pressed on vinyl. And last but not least, a little David Lee Roth Skyscraper. I mean, you guys know this one. Just like Paradise, definitely the big hit off of that. So just wanted to listen to a little David the other day. All right, so then going to the vinyl here, we'll start with the ones that, again, kind of save themselves from the Purge stack. And it's like six of them, five or six of them. But we'll start here with the Melvins, Hold It In. One I hadn't spun in a while, so I was thinking about letting it go. But man, after putting it on, I was like, oh yeah, I remember just how fantastic this album is. And the thing I like most about it is there's some different flavors inside of it in terms of like maybe type of songs. But it's stuff like Bride of Frankenstein or Sesame Street Meat that I love those songs, and just that big, heavy, like down-tuned, groovy thing that the Melvins can do. A matter of fact, it's kind of like with a Bride of Frankenstein and stuff. It immediately makes me think about Zakk Wylde Ozzy. Not that they're shredding like Zakk, but just kind of that down-tuned type of away from Randy Rhoads, and kind of the transition to the heavier Zakk down-tuned sound. A lot of that kink comes out on this album. So yeah, really great one, and I was like, there's no way I can get rid of that. So really good stuff. Donald Byrd was another one. Mustang. Another great one here. Hadn't spun it in some time. This is his 1964 release. And I just had to go back and spin it again. And of course, it was just like, man, I forgot how great this album was. Which is not surprising because, yeah, it's Donald Byrd. But who else appears on it like all the other Blue Note albums? Sonny Red, Hank Mobley, McCoy Tyner. I mean, come on. And that's not even the end of it. So, as always, the legends showing up and doing awesome stuff on Blue Note. Nas hadn't spun this in a long time as well, so I thought maybe it's one to get rid of. And oh my goodness, spun it the other day and was just like, man, just a fantastic mixture of kind of psych and some garage and some pop elements, just kind of all balled into a fantastic album. And oh yeah, that was so freaking good. That's their 1968 release. And two more here. Blondie, Pollinator. This is their 2017 release. And again, it's just another one where you throw it on, and it's just, once you hear Debbie Harry's voice, like everything she does is just just great. So that was another one that missed the chopping block. And the Rods in the Raw. Great revisit here as well. This is their 1983 release. I think their third or fourth album. Um, of course, here you have what's his name? David Feinstein, I think is his name, the lead singer there, who is Dio's cousin, I believe. He was actually in Elf with Dio. He kind of looks like him too. You can kind of tell they're from the same family. But yeah, really, really great album, and you can definitely hear the influence because this basically sounds like, for the most part, through most of the songs, sounds like a Rainbow album. I mean, just like heavy rock and Rainbow. So yeah, again, after spinning that one, I was like, forgot how great that was. And the last one here, which was Gary Newman's Splinter. I gave that one a spin the other day. 2LP, this is his release from 2013. And I was kind of like mixed about this one because, I mean, it does go for a nice little penny. And I thought, I'm going to put it on Discogs. And if it sells, it sells. If not, whatever. And someone ended up buying it today, actually. So I'm glad I got a chance to spin it. But, yeah, that one's going to go out the door. And definitely a good album, but just one, I'm okay with having on CD, and especially for the great price that I got for it. So, kind of continuing just in the general what's been spinning. Little Debbie Harry, Deaf, Dumb, and Blonde. This is her release that sometimes gets a little forgotten about. This came out in 1989. Another album that shows the genius of Debbie and just what she could do with kind of the same voice, but just how magical it was and how versatile it was, even though she didn't change it that often. And what I mean by that is you have all the type of pop sound that you would expect from Blondie on this album, but then you also go to songs like Bike Boy or Comic Books, and you can hear that original kind of punk flavor that that she was back in the early days with the CBGBs and all of that. And then you go to songs like Calamari, which again, now you're back to like that world type of sound, kind of like what we got with The Tide is High. And it's just, again, that the amazing versatility of just one of the absolute legends. So really great album, like I said, that just sometimes gets a little bit forgotten about. Total classic here, Huey Lewis and the News Sports. I mean, you guys know this one, 1983, The Heart of Rock and Roll, Heart and Soul, probably my favorite song by Huey and the Boys. Want a New Drug, on and on and on. Really love this pressing too. It's an 83 Japanese pressing, and this is just one of those albums that sounds fantastic on my system. So, really, really good stuff there. And then back to a little more Blue Note here. Jackie McLean. This is Jackknife from 1965. And again, appearances with Lee Morgan plays on this, Larry Willis, and just all the greats again. So just another great addition to the jazz collection, the Tone Poet collection there. A band I've talked about a couple of times in some What's Been Spinning videos, but not this album. Texas Hippie Coalition, and this is High in the Saddle. The album that I think I usually talk about is Gunsmoke. Fantastic, fantastic band. If you look on the hype sticker, it actually describes them as non-stop, gritty, grooving, and downright party rock. It is the way that Loudwire kind of described them. The way I always describe them is it's a southern rock band that just wants to be metal / new metal, but just kind of wants to stay in that southern rock realm. But that's the thing I like about it is, again, it's going into that thing of kind of more of a down tune, very groovy type of stuff, very rhythmic type of stuff. And that's the stuff that I like. It's the stuff that I love. It's actually the reason why Godsmack is my favorite band, is because I love that new metal, groovy type of stuff that I always say, Godsmack, Korn, bands like that. They make these gigantic walls of rhythmic sound that just kind of, I don't know, I love that stuff. And so Texas Hippie Coalition is a band that definitely fits into that. Dana Dane Forever, one of the old school hip hop artists there. Love him. This is his 1990 release. So that's Dana Dane. Christian Control here. This is her 2016 release. Excommunicate. She was the lead singer for the Dum Dum Girls, and this is kind of her, I guess, kind of off doing a solo thing here. a very kind of synth pop, very 80s feel to this album, which is what I love about it. Uh, if you haven't heard it before, definitely the songs I recommend checking out is Wannabe and Show Me, probably my two favorite songs off of this. But yeah, if you kind of like that more modern day synth pop type of sound, that's a great album. Classic here, Dion of the Belmonts, The Wanderer, kind of a greatest hits. And yeah, I mean, A Teenage in Love, Run Around Sue, The Wanderer, you know, just all of that great old school stuff. Just that great old early rock and roll. So very fun listen. I really enjoy that one. Every time I spin it, I enjoy that one. My girl Grace Jones, and this is Warm Leatherette. This is her album from 1980. Uh, one of the creative queens of the 80s. Again, as big as she was, she still doesn't quite get the props that she deserves. A lot of great stuff on here as well, including the title track. But then she also does a great cover of Tom Petty's Breakdown on here, where she does the song Great Justice. So love that as well. And just for some reason thought about throwing this on the other day. The 2 LP set of Elton John Diamonds, just kind of a greatest hits from 2017. Again, all the stuff you would expect. Your Song, Tiny Dancer, Rocket Man, Crocodile Rock, Daniel, Saturday Night's Alright, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Benny and the Jets, you know, all that good stuff, as well as a lot more. But favorite song is probably Sacrifice, because, again, that might be my favorite Elton John song, period, and that's also on here. So, very nice 2 LP greatest hits there. That was a fun spin. Little Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, Bob Marley's son, One Bright Day. Again, just another kind of great 80s reggae artist. Favorite song off of here is probably All Love. I think it's probably my favorite song off of this album. So another good one there. Conscious Party is probably my favorite album by him, period, which was before this one. But yeah, this is also a great one. Don't have to say anything about this. I mean, Killers, definitely fantastic. Now, I found myself the last year or two, even though I still really feel that Somewhere in Time's my favorite Iron Maiden album, I find myself going to Self-Titled and Killers over and over and over. Those seem to be the two that I constantly spin. Little Pure Hell here. Another great one, maybe not as well known. 1978. Album's called Noise Addiction. And it's just, I mean, let's put it this way. This sounds just like it looks. Not metal, but punk on the punk side. So yeah, really cool album. If you haven't heard of them before, definitely check that one out. Peter Schilling, kind of getting into some of that awesome, you know, synthy 80s stuff. Error in the System. And yeah, you know, again, another great album. And of course, the song Major Tom is on here, which is just fantastic. Love that one. Prince the Hits, the Volume 1. Just threw this on the other day. Again, all the stuff you'd expect to hear by Prince. You know, great track listing there. So, that's Prince. Dan Fogelberg here, Windows and Walls. This is his release from 1984. Great kind of 80s rock, and not necessarily hard rock as much as I want to say like 80s movie rock. Like the kind of rock songs that you hear inserted into teen comedies from the 80s and stuff like that. You know, then probably the biggest hit off of this is The Language of Love, which I really think defines that sound. But yeah, great album by Dan there. And got, I think, just two more here. The Gap Band. This is Gap Band 2. It's kind of some of that early funk by the one and only. The Wilson Brothers. This came out in 1979. And, of course, the biggest song on here is, I always want to say Oops Upside Your Head, but that's not the name of the song. The actual name of the song is I Don't Believe You Want to Get Up and Dance. That's the name of the song. But Oops Upside Your Head is what they say during the song, and that's actually what they probably should have titled it, because that's what everyone kind of knows it by. And last but not least, little old school here. Johnny Gill, looking like he's 2 years old right there, but sounds just like the grown up Johnny Gill that we came to know, kind of in the late '80s and with New Edition and all of that. So yeah, he had a very mature voice at an early age. So little Johnny Gill there. But anyway, there you go, VC. That's kind of what's been spinning over the past few weeks in terms of albums I listened to from front to back. So as always, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you stopping by and watching, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.